What's up guys? We're back again with one of the best decks in Clash Royale for the new season. Goblin Drill, despite getting a movement speed nerf, didn't get a nerf to its stats, and every pro player is complaining about how it always gets damage. If your opponent tries to use a bomber, dart goblin, or a ranged unit to obliterate your goblins, you just fireball them and hit the tower too. If they use a Valkyrie or a melee unit, you can tornado it away right as the goblins spawn to get a devastating amount of value. And because you have such a quick card cycle with Fire Spirit, Bomber, and Skeletons, you're gonna get back to another Goblin Drill before your opponent has any time to counter it. And for anyone that's frustrated against all the crazy decks that Ladder can throw at you, you're gonna have Tornado and Tesla. You can activate King Tower and pull your opponent's multiple win conditions directly to the middle of the map. This deck is amazing at all trophy counts, and it's currently played at number 20 in the world. Electro Giant and Hog Rider are some of the most commonly played decks on Ladder, and you're gonna make those players rage quit every single time. There's just no chance that they'll ever break through the double buildings plus Tornado. So let's go jump straight at some games and assert dominance. Thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. Hey, we got a game against the Gatito Dragon. I have no idea what that is, but I'm gonna give you some luck, and I'm gonna give you some love with the Goblin Drill on the tower. Gonna give you a lot of kisses from the Green Goblin group, my favorite troop. I think that in this part of the game, if your opponent's going for a witch on the other side, you can deduce quickly that they're running Giant Graveyard because, you know, someone doing that at the start is very aggressive. Oh, it's Clone. Okay, so one of the reasons why we like this deck so much. Tornado is broken against clone shenanigans, and with Giant Skeleton being so prevalent in the meta right now because it's a boosted card this season, what synergizes perfectly with that? Skeleton Barrel, Witch, Clone. So I think a lot of people will be running something like this if they get the opportunity to. I'm going to go for a Valkyrie last possible second. It would be awesome if I had Tornado in cycle because that would have been such an easy King Tower activation, but I had to use it and exhaust it on top of the Skeleton Barrel. So, all right. Tesla could be a good decision. Bomber won't be able to clean it up. The Tesla is our only reliable distraction for the Giant Skeleton. It's the only card that will actually be able to kill this for a decent elixir trade.
The power of Tesla.
I wonder what else this man's going to whip out. You never really know with people in the ladder. Sometimes they just are crazy. Yeah. Giant Skeleton Mirror. Guys, I'd love to say that I could completely counter a level 14 card with the Tesla again, but yeah, that's not a level 14 card. That's level 16, so
I'm 16 years old.
I'm gonna have to go in for my own shenanigans of dropping a Goblin Drill on defense. The reason why I like Goblin Drill so much in the meta right now is not only is it not really getting a nerf like it should have been, but also on top of that, it's really, really good against E-Giant. And it's also another building, so if you need to clutch up in the final seconds of a game, you can rely on it. I'm going to go in for a Bomber just to make sure that that thing doesn't get anywhere near my tower. And with a minute and 17 seconds left, I'm sure you guys are going to know what's going to happen. All I have to do is drop Teslas, Tornadoes on defense, and I go in for Goblin Drills, and he has no answer. So if you guys are hating all the Giant Skeleton clone decks, this is the deck you want to play. And it's all thanks to running Tornado instead of Log, like most traditional Goblin Drill decks used to play. So as you guys can see, it was an incredibly easy game. There really wasn't anything that this guy could do. If he goes in for a Skeleton Barrel and he goes in for a Clone, we just save our Tornado, and he gets crushed every single time. All right, we got another one here. So this guy is an Immortal, but I don't think he's going to live very long against this deck. We got to finish this sentence. It was CY. It's going to be Cycle, man. That's what this deck is made out of. The Immortal Cycle is ours, and ours only. So what I'm planning on doing is applying a lot of aggression in the left-hand lane. So then we can activate King Tower with this Goblin Cage Brawler that is hopefully going to go directly towards this tower by itself, without any support, without any friends, without any comrades, besides ours King Tower.
Are you Princess Fiona?
So I'm going to use our Tornado very effectively, not take any damage on our tower, and then activate King. When we see Baby Dragon, I'm automatically anticipating that our opponent is going to end up having an Electro Giant deck because it's so common in the meta. And there it is.
It is so good.
Speaking of the devil, there he goes. I'm going to Fire Spirits, and then we can force out more than one elixir every single time. And then I can go in for a Goblin Drill on the right-hand side with the Bomber, so we can force out a ton of elixir there as well. Because I know that with King Tower activated, I can defend with a Tesla, and if he lightnings this, I can then just easily use Tornado afterward and then be fine. If he lightnings for a negative elixir trade, be my guest, bro. I want to see that lightning. I know you're packing it in the deck. Where it at? He doesn't even do it. Oh my gosh, that Electro Giant just got trashed. No way. Okay, so he's running a different E-Giant deck than I was anticipating. I don't think I've ever seen an E-Giant deck pack Elite Barbarians and Electro Dragon. This is more of like an Elixir Golem and Golem Baby, and I don't know. It feels weird, you know?
You got a weird family.
It's hideous. Okay, so I'm going to go in for a Fire Spirit, and I'm going to get more damage, and then I can consistently follow up with Goblin Drills, because look at the Goblin Cage. It's just chilling there. It's confined in a prison, quite literally.
Ogres are like onions. End of story.
Not able to touch the drill. The skill drill is too strong, and if you don't have Dark Prince, you're not able to stop it. If you Valkyrie, I can just pull it back with the Tornado, and then it can't kill the Goblins. Right as the Goblin pops, you just Tornado the Valkyrie back, and then you do a ton of damage. So the only thing you can't do is Dark Prince, because it's pretty Tornado resilient. I'm going to go for a Tesla again, and then I can go for Skeletons to make sure that we go and kite everything. Yo, I kind of want to just kite you all the way around the map, brother. That's what I'm feeling right now. We've got multiple bombers. We are going to Tornado your stuff back. It's fun to make Elixir Golem players say well played and then just lose their towers, and he just gives up. This is what this deck does to people. He's given the white flag a surrender because there's nothing he can do. And this is what this deck does on a daily basis. This guy actually had mirrored up E-Giant, but there was no way he was breaking through such a fast cycle with Valkyrie, Tornado, Tesla, and a King Tower activation. This arena is truly a throwback. I have not been in the Bone Pit arena in a fat minute. You know what? Playing against Hog Rider also makes me pretty happy because we got Tornado. No Hog Rider hits up in here, and that is a even Elixir trait because I dropped a Fire Spirit and you countered it with the Hog Rider, so I dropped 4 Elixir as well. The good thing about this is your log is out of cycle, so now we can go for a Goblin Drill and distill that damage. It's amazing to use Goblin Drill on offense because the first Goblin will always lock onto the tower, and if they don't have log, it's going to be very hard for them to deny all damage if they go in for an Ice Golem and Skeletons and then the Goblins spawn afterward, because Skeletons don't do enough. All right, I'm able to go in for a Tornado. We will stop the Hog Rider again and not take any damage. Dropping that as quickly as I can so I can cycle back. I'm going to go for Goblin Drill plus Skeletons this time. I think that this is going to work out really well for me because he dropped Skeletons early and they died to the Goblin Drill spawn damage, and he's going to log. Okay, so as I said before, I think that this deck just outpaces almost every Hog Rider deck. If he goes in for a Valkyrie here, like I think he will, then he's going to have some problems because he can't go in for a Hog Rider at the same time. Okay. Yeah, he just goes in for another Hog Rider. I don't know why he is so persistent on going for Hog Riders into Tornadoes. It will always be a positive one interaction for me. You need that Ice Golem, bro. So I can go in for a Goblin Drill again and then follow up with a Fireball, depending on what happens here. If he cycles a Musketeer, it's always going to get Fireballed. I'm dropping it off to the side so then he can't go Musketeer in the other lane, hit my Goblin Drill, and then still make a Hog Rider push in the lane that he wants to go in. And honestly, if I don't have my Tornado, I can just use Tesla, so I'm always going to have a good answer in cycle. It just seems like this matchup is 100% in my favor. You're never really going to lose this because you have a quicker card cycle, and your opponent will get really sad. But let's see if we can do something crazy here. Maybe go for a Valkyrie. Yeah, so he tried to body block the Bomber from crossing the river, and now he's going to go in for a Hog Rider here for sure. So I'm going to Goblin Drill extremely aggressively. I'll go for Skeletons on the Ice Spirit so he doesn't get any damage. I think he just Rage Quit. I think, yeah, he just doesn't want to play the game. I understand that. I feel that. I get a lot of questions asking me, Jake, what deck destroys 2.6 Hog Rider? I think you guys finally have your answer. Jumping into the action with my favorite card to cycle with this deck first is the Fire Spirit. So let's go. Let's see what we can get. Oh my gosh. An amazing start. Activating King Tower right out of the jump. Even if you drop your Goblin Barrel there, it is not safe enough. Okay, so I can go for a Goblin Drill and then potentially go in for a Bomber depending on what happens. Oh, I was hoping that one of the Skeletons would stay alive. Wait. Okay. Weird log bait deck. So most log bait decks, you're like, I've got Fire Spirit, I've got easy answers to you. But this man, I have no clue what he's going to do. We see Dark Goblin and Skeleton King, so I want to kill the Dark Goblin as quickly as I can with the Valkyrie. And I want to make sure that he doesn't have any potential of popping off the Skeleton King ability. 100% going to Fireball that, propel the Rascal Boy closer to us. And then I think I'm going to try to hit a Fire Spirit timing on top of the Skeletons and then maybe not take much damage. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to barely take any. Okay, so the Skeleton King is going to be cycled soon, so I have to be wary of cycling too many bait cards into him, but I can't help myself, guys. I have counter push with the Bomber. I need to do this. All right, he should be good enough to know that I'm going to go in for the Tornado. Oh, let's go. It still worked out. He thought that the Skeleton King would get a hit in time, but it didn't work out. Let's go. I'm going to go for a Fire Spirit and pull that off to the side. I think he's going to, yeah, he still pops the ability. Pretty broken card, but since I have King Tower activated, no damage is going to be taken. I don't even think I needed to drop the high Skeletons, but I've just so scared of that card. It kind of haunts my nightmares and everything. So I will be over defending Skeleton King just to make sure our opponent doesn't get too much value. All right, he knows that I have Fireball. I think he's trying to bait out a positive elixir trade so then he can just spam into me. I don't know, because he still has the Thick Boy alive. He's going to do some crazy stuff. All right, I'm going to go Tesla. Yeah, he was trying to outcycle me and make sure I didn't have much of an answer to it. But if you guys notice where I dropped my Valkyrie, I was able to swing and kill 2 of them at once. Oh my gosh, my Valkyrie just killed 4 goblins. That's ridiculous. She killed 2 from each barrel. Barrels are fun for us every single time when we use Valkyrie. Okay, so we know he's going to Skeleton King, so I want to Tornado that. Okay, I was hoping that we could Tornado. Yeah, we tornadoed the Skeleton King into the Valkyrie. So then he has nothing for the Goblin Drill. And then I can Fireball on the Rascals as well. The Bomber is going to splash onto almost everything. I was hoping it would splash onto the tower. I was a greedy, greedy sir. I'm going to Tesla here. I'm going to Fire Spirit Trick. I don't think I did the Fire Spirit Trick fast enough. It's fine. It's okay. Now we have the Valkyrie and the Bomber on defense here, and we're not going to take much damage at all. Notice how the Valkyrie is just such an incredibly clutch card in this meta, where everyone is running bait decks, whether it's going to be Clone or, you know, a weird Skeleton King plus Goblin Barrel bait, when they just rage quit afterwards. You know, like, this guy doesn't want to play the game anymore. And I don't blame him. I feel like if I was playing against a fast cycle Tornado Valkyrie deck, I'd just dip out too. Cycling 2 Valkyries on the map and almost 3 crowning them, that feels pretty good. Yo, you got Fire Spirit. Maybe you're one of us. Oh, he's definitely one of us. I'm going to Fireball immediately. Maybe we're able to hit a Valkyrie as well or something else. That'd be amazing. Oh, he's going to Tornado. Please don't activate King Tower. Oh, no. All right, well, it makes sense, you know. We're fighting our ultimate boss, which is literally ourself, because this deck is so busted. Oh, wait, no. He doesn't. He's got to have Electric Giant. He has to have E-Giant right now, because we see Goblin Cage. So what I'm planning on doing is just activating King Tower Tornado, because most of the time, whenever you see Goblin Drill, you're not expecting us to have Tornado. So I'm going to Goblin Drill here. I'm going to activate King Tower with the Brawler, and we're going to see as this man just is shocked in disbelief as we just get the best trade of our lives. And then the Goblins clap his tower as well. This is ridiculous. So yeah, E-Giant's coming down, and I'm going to Tesla, and I'm going to go in for a Valkyrie. This should hard counter. I don't think he's going to be able to afford a Lightning, and if he goes Bomber, it's not able to splash onto the Tesla. And the E-Giant should die to the tower in the middle. If I Bomber off to the side, I don't even think that gets a hit, man. Yeah, it doesn't even touch my tower. It's just the story of my life today. My goodness. Okay, so I'm going to Fireball this back. If you guys didn't know, it does full counter Archer Queen if you time it correctly. Even if he goes invisible, he wastes 1 elixir, and it's really funny when that happens. Maybe not for him. Maybe he's raging. Maybe he's secretly spiraling down, and he's just like, I hate this game. You know, it wouldn't be that bad if we made every E-Giant player uninstall, right? I don't know, guys. We're making 2.6 uninstall. We're making E-Giant uninstall. That's just the way of the life, you know? Okay, so I want to go and kill the Bomber, but I can't. Maybe I can. Okay, I was considering going in for a Bomber and then Skeletons and then cycling a Tornado and pulling his Bomber into my Bomber and just killing it. That would have been pretty fun. Anyway, I can Bomber in the back, and maybe I can win this game without taking any damage. That's my new goal out here. I'm going to Valkyrie, and then I think I can Fire Spirit depending on what happens. Definitely do want a Tesla, and don't want to drop it too close to the Giant Skeleton. That's our one goal. What's going to happen here is he's going to Lightning, and then I just use my Goblin Drill on defense, and I pull back the Electro Giant. Oh, I guess I have to use Tornado. Herp derp. Oh, guys, I have to unveil my 3rd counter to his deck. And then the Bomber slaps him silly again. It's just a disgrace to see E-Giant get destroyed this easily when E-Giant is like one of the strongest cards in the game right now. So he has to go Bomber, and we're going to Fireball it, and then we're going to get a ton of damage. That's the only card that he has. If you go for a Giant Skeleton, I'm able to Tornado it back, and then the Goblins lock onto the tower, and then you take 1,000,000 damage, and then you still lose the game because then I just have to cycle 1 more Goblin Drill and a Fireball, and that's all she wrote. Why are you going for an E-Giant there? Do you actually think the E-Giant's going to do damage? Do you think it's going to cross the river? I bet you that E-Giant doesn't cross the river for the rest of the game, bro. I bet you it just doesn't happen. Mostly because I didn't want it to happen, but I don't know. It's pretty funny that you can make their win condition just stay on their side of the map the entire time while you just drop win conditions directly on their tower. Goblin Drill simply built different, and you're going to crush every single E-Giant player. And now we're 9,300 in the world. We got another game against Chaser. I'm going to go for the Bomber, and we'll see what's happening. I want to get some damage. If that hits the Electro Spirit, I'll be so happy. Okay, unlucky, unlucky. At least we got 2 elixir out of him, so, you know, Bomber gave us a positive elixir trade. I'm going to Fire Spirit on the other side, and, oh, man. Electro Spirit plus Skeletons with this makes me feel like he's going to have Archer Queen Expo, or maybe, like, I don't know, something very annoying. Anyway, I'm going to go for a Tesla here and just play defensive and figure out what he's going to do. We already know that the Tesla hard counters the giant skeleton every single time, so I'll do that. And then I'll go for skeletons on top of the queen. So the queen should die to skeletons unless he goes invisible, and if he pops the invisibility early, then I can Fire Spirit and clean that up. Another easy King Tower activation. Let's go, guys. I love playing against Hog Rider players. So there's a couple things about this matchup that makes it fun. Number one, if you play against Earthquake, you can Tesla here, one tile away from the river, and then the Earthquake can't hit the tower and also hit the Tesla at the same time. So they have to pick, do they want to kill the Tesla or do they want to get tower damage? And if they pick tower damage, then, you know, they're not going to ever break through with their Hog Rider. If they pick the Tesla, they're just going to get out damaged by your Goblin Drill and the Fireball because Earthquake just doesn't do as much damage as you do. So just a very fun matchup overall. Giant Skeleton is going to be an interesting dilemma though, because that thing will bait out my Tesla a bit more early than I would want to most of the time. So I'm just going to try to Valkyrie on that for the most part. I'm going to go for skeletons as well on top of the Electro Spirit. Let's see what else this guy's going to do. I'll Fireball last possible second just to push everything back. And I think that the Bomber kills that before it gets near my tower. And then I can go in for a Fire Spirit and then a Tesla or a Tornado on top of the Hog Rider every single time. I think Tornado is better. And this guy is already rolling his eyes. He just knows that this game is not going to be a fun time for him. He's just looking at that. He's like, I haven't done any damage, and it's been 2 minutes into the game. But that's how this deck operates. It's the ultimate defense zone. So I think maybe I can go in for a Valkyrie and a Bomber and just play really aggressive when he goes in for a Giant Skeleton in the back. So I'm going to try to do something crazy just because I want to. Not because I need to, but because I want to. If we get the Giant Skeleton out of him, then I can go in for a Goblin Drill and a Fire Spirit on the other side and see what happens. Maybe I can cycle 2 Goblin Drills here. If he goes Archer Queen, I could Fireball on it as well. As soon as he pops the goblins, then maybe the goblins can kill the Archer Queen. I've had that happen before where you Fireball at the exact moment and then you destroy the Archer Queen so then he doesn't get the shot off, right? So he's meaning to kill the goblins, but it just doesn't work. Okay, so he's going to go invisible again, and then I follow up with a Goblin Drill here. He just loses it to the tower, and then I Fireball. No, he's going to go for a Giant Skeleton, so I have to Tornado it back. I'm going to Tornado it back last possible second when it pops, and then the goblins lock onto the tower. Look at that damage. Isn't that nasty? Isn't that disgusting? Isn't it despicable? Oh my gosh. So he's going to go for an Archer Queen here. Oh, he actually made a pretty good Archer Queen. I'm surprised by that. I thought he wouldn't do that at the perfect timing. I've got Tornado, and I've got Skeletons, and I've got Bomber, so I'm not really that scared. In fact, I can Tornado this all back, and then go in for a Tesla afterward, and then I should be able to shut down the Hog Rider with no damage again. He's gonna go Earthquake. Oh, okay, maybe he gets 1 hit now. Maybe he gets 2. Nope, just 1. That's just how this deck works. I'm gonna Fireball whenever I get the chance again. You guys already know the deal. If he goes Archer Queen, that's what's gonna happen. If he goes Giant Skeleton, that's okay. I don't think that matters that much. Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay, goblins just want to win me the game. He dropped a Giant Skeleton and it still didn't stop the goblins. And that's why every pro player is complaining about it. You can drop 7 elixir with Skeletons and Giant Skeleton and still take 400 damage. And after that juicy W, we're 8,100 in the world. Like, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.